actually, but we'll start with this one right now for you guys. So what I'm looking at is a really good looking month actually for the month of March. So when we first start out, we definitely see that we have the Four of Wands. Great card for family celebrations, which does look like you are going to be either attending a celebration, but either way, there's a certain amount of stability that just comes through very strongly for this month. There is a little bit of an upset at some point, probably toward the end of the month, but for the most part, everything is looking pretty amazing. Um, Sorry, give me one second, guys. Okay, so as I mentioned, the Four of Wands definitely speaks to there being kind of a feeling of getting respect around the home front. There is certainly a lot more, again, a lot of focus on the family front as well. There definitely seems to be something that's accomplished. There's a certain level of comfort that comes through with this particular card. It definitely speaks like you have a lot more relatives or family, or, you know, you're feeling a lot more supported anyway in the month of March. And it feels like as well there is, because the Four of, like I said, with the Four of Wands and the Six of Wands, that is definitely indicating that there's a lot more of a new beginning around the home front. And it's also kind of bringing in either some kind of celebration or some kind of, due to an accomplished sort of energy, or you're getting recognition. Like I said, there's something here where you have more respect and admiration that's in around family, or family is feeling that of you. Again, there could also be something where there's a lot more stability because you are moving into a more stable oriented period here, where there is going to be a lot more acknowledgement for your achievements. So there is something that you've kind of reached a certain level of achievement with, sorry, in the month of March. There's also something here about, you know, a level of confidence and fulfillment because of whatever it is on the home front that has been accomplished, which is going to help you obviously move something ahead here. There's also a sense of a valuable kind of opportunity here as well, because we do have that Ace of Pentacles again still showing up with the Queen of Swords, which of course is your energy. So I feel like you're feeling pretty confident. It is being offered to you, and it is giving you some sense of probably recognition in around it. So again, whether this is a message of an opportunity of money coming through, a loan, or some kind of start, some kind of new start that you are finally moving ahead with in March is what I would say. So maybe in February it was presented, but in March there's some kind of communication. There's more word, there's more dialogue, there's more information around it anyway. Either way, that's helping to kind of move you ahead. So anyway, we'll do the generalities and then we'll kind of get into more of the specifics. So again, Four of Wands, it's still looking very stable for this month. Of course, fours again, all around stability. And it looks like you have certainly a lot more around the household, or around whatever it is that you consider to be stability there. The Two of, I'm going to just throw this in there as well. With that Two of Cups, there's an energy around you that a significant relationship is also moving forward. There is something there that seems to be more of a positive. Again, we'll get through that one here and flesh it out a little bit more as well. But for the most part, there is still around stability and finances predominantly, I would say. There is a sense of, again, potentially around the end of the month, there being a little bit of an altercation of some sort around finance, where it could be just like a little bit of an issue. Enough that it's beyond just a slight discussion, because there's almost like a bit of a challenging dialogue around it, competitive sort of feel. So something along that line. Okay, so again in March, just to go back to that Four of Wands, and again, fours, there's still stability, there's still discipline around whatever this is, there's still planning, it's stable, period. But again, Four of Wands, again, still feels like you were doing something that is getting approved because the news is good that comes through with that particular card. So again, good news, something around money, something that you're getting some recognition for. I still feel like this is you being very grounded, really feeling a lot more supported in the month of March. And it definitely feels like there is a possibility, again, of some kind of large scale opportunity further out. But right now, you're just feeling, feeling good, safe, secure, all of that. Family is around you, more support. You're kind of moving into more of a prosperous period in whatever this is for you. And you're putting your money to work, is what I would say, in something that's going to be more of a long-term sort of feel. Could be somehow connecting with another person in regards to a situation around that, but again, with the Six of Wands, it still feels like whatever it is, there's a victory around. So there's an obstacle that you've overcome. And whatever it is you were waiting for, it just seems like everything has kind of opened up for you. So you've got a little more attention because you now have something that you want here. That's around family support and connection. So that's going to help to shape the rest of the month, I feel. So we're going to also read some of the clarifiers below. I didn't pull too many on that because I think that's pretty straightforward. Does feel as well for some of you, if it's in around a love offer, the the Knight of Cups is definitely feeling that like there's something that's coming through, that could be in around a connection that might be something that you are looking forward to for some of you. But either way, that Knight of Cups is something positive, and it definitely speaks to kind of a rapid development around an emotional connection of some sort, especially because all the other cards support it. So something's going forward, and the focus is on your emotional state in this period and your money. So something's making you feel pretty good. And again, it's leading off with a very positive feel. As though you have advanced yourself in some way and you're approaching your responsibilities, I would say, in a very intuitive way. Um, but I don't know. Well, we'll see whether or not you're kind of moving it in. Well, we'll see what happens here as we pull through. So I just kind of pull them and then I kind of feel it out after. But either way, Knight of Cups, you're doing something with the path of the heart. So something that you wanted, something that you've advanced it in some way, and it's certainly showing some kind of stability around family. Like I said, okay, leaving that right there. Um, and the other part of it is too, Knight of Cups, like I say, there it also kind of celebrates or the energy around that is kind of celebratory in some way in the month of March. So around family as well. So whatever that means for you, whether there is some sense of you being around family or something there that is advancing you in some way emotionally, you feel pretty good about it. But like I said, Knight of Cups is still, feeling like you are in the right space where everything is just positive emotions. And again, it's kind of social interactions that are highlighted for me in this period of March. So we're going to get right to the next card here. So we've got the Two of Cups. Okay, so the Two of Cups, of course, does speak to sometimes it can be a decision that needs to be made, but I think in this particular case, it seems to be moving forward an emotional connection of some sort. So, some kind of partnership or significant relationship to you doesn't have to be love, but there's a stronger emotional bond here either way. And I feel like it's showing somebody showing more care or attention, um, more affection, that kind of thing. And it feels like in March, it just feels like there's more of a check-in sort of energy there. So, and especially too when we're looking at, the Queen of Wands, that energy is definitely like a maturing sort of energy. So either both parties or one person, whatever, something symbolized here is though, somebody's kind of advancing it forward in a very positive light. Anyway, Two of Cups is still speaking to things along the lines of partnership and completion, and there being more emotional balance there. So I would say that there's more of an appreciation for those around you, and that's going to show here where there's kind of a settling of disputes or something like that that smooth the energy there because it's more of a cooperative sort of feel. With that, there's an improvement in that area. So I would just say keep going because something in March is turning everything around to more of a perfect balance. When we get to the card of the King of Wands, as I said, this one is more of a mature energy. It's more of a forward going movement as well, and it's definitely speaking to there being completion to a partnership of some sort. And that's probably why we have it with the Six of Swords, where things are progressing, because something about a release of old patterns of behavior has now taken place. So both parties are feeling a lot more mature, or there's a lot more wisdom, and there's more that energy of being able to because of your persistence and your focus, I would say you're more motivated. There's more of a vision here as well in around a connection and where things can be led or move, what direction they can move in. There's more of a sense of, how that relationship can grow, I guess is what I want to say there, because it's almost Aries, Leo, Sagittarius may also be relevant here as well, but it's almost like there is stability because of the vision. Some, whether it's vision for yourself or both of you have more of a vision about how things will go forward. It's almost because of that you're able to sort of put the past behind you and overcome those challenges and fulfill things on a bigger picture. And actually, there was something I remember reading as well about that as well. They said something about when things are, incredibly romantic or incredibly, in terms of a romantic partnership, um, it's how you actually endure the hardships as to how long that connection will generally last. It's less about the feelings and more about how you together overcome the challenges in front of you. So whatever's underway, you have to be able to still remain a certain amount of focus and vision on the bigger picture. So following the ball, I guess, however you want to say it. But either way, I mean, this is an energy of being a lot more self-confident and self-reliant as well moving forward. And of course, we do have that Six of Swords energy with the Knight of Swords, so it's moving forward in a rapid way. um the other part of it, like with the Knight of Swords, this is somebody who comes in with more of a logical way of dealing with things. So head over heart, that kind of thing, really strong beliefs, good intentions, that kind of thing as well. And it's also where you have a sense of yourself, things are pretty clear, you're diplomatic in the way that you approach something. And that's where you're starting to unlock that full potential, in a connection, because both of you are now, more along the lines of, um, trying to find a resolve in the situation to establish a sense of law and order and being aware of each other's boundaries, that kind of thing. So there may still be a little bit of emotional detachment to some extent, but it's still being dealt with in terms of the way in which you communicate in sort of a critical, maybe a little bit critical, but still the negativity may still be impacting you a little bit. There's Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, again with that energy, but it's still around getting past it, because the Six of Swords energy indicates that you are still working through it, but you're not really reacting emotionally. I feel in this particular space, I feel like you're just letting go of the past, or letting go of some aspect of that past, and able to move forward into that space of, again, the King of Wands, because that's an energy of being back in control of a situation or back in control of a scenario. Um, and being able to strongly visualize where things are headed. So it's a sense of releasing the old patterns of behavior. Like I said, there's a sense of closure and commitment or recommitment, but in a different sort of way. I'm not saying hugely warm and receptive, but there is, in terms of one part of some kind of connection here, that there is advancement. And again, it's kind of a conquering energy with both the king and the knight. So again, this could be the people that I'm speaking to. So again, this could be Libra energy, younger person here all as well as the King of Wands, somebody who is in more of a mature position, so 20s, 30s, and somebody who's more mature from that point of view. But again, it's still an eagerness to move past the obstacles, both in a very defensive position, still, not warm, receptive, and all of that, because there's only token energy when we get over to the Ace of Pentacles that indicates that there's a little more gesture of moving something forward, probably more so in terms of word communication. So again, there's some kind of insight that's been gained here, but I feel like you're both sort of focusing on, you know, what it is that you both need in terms of what you want. So there's a vision that is kind of meeting in the middle. There's an exchange. There's more of a balance between, even though both parties I feel are both fairly assertive and kind of dominant in their own ways. But again, still dealing with things more reasoning and logic and able to advance it. I would also say, in terms of for others of you, there may be some sense of, still seems like a lot of this is really on the home front, but in terms of a career sort of aspect, I would say that you are getting some kind of acknowledgement or advancement. Um, there could also be more project on a contract or something that's coming to light here that is allowing you to progress in some way. So, whether this is you moving forward to get a little bit more ahead in a connection that's assisting you in, your ambition, but there's some kind of communication around it either way. There's also a sense of, so again, efforts paying off in a big way. You sort of seizing control. There's more of a vision oriented uh, step. Could be dealing with more contracts or something that is in writing here, but I feel like you also have more support from family and all of that, kind of moving into this, maybe even a celebration of sorts here in the month of March. So either way, really good energy. And then when we get over here to the Queen of Swords energy, again, there's two queens here. So this is definitely speaking to, I think it was just the two queens. I should check that out here again. That was the main energy. Yeah. Oh, sorry. The other one wasn't the main energy out. That was the two of, okay. But either way, there's a suggestion if it doesn't show up in this month, but even when we have two queens, it's more career oriented, I would say, or business oriented, sort of in that realm. But because they're two queens, again, they're not the major arcana or the main cards out that we are looking at. But there is still a sense of receiving some kind of support. So, family members, friends, anything along that line, getting good advice, that kind of thing, from partnership or anything along that line is what I would say there. Okay, so going back to the Queen of Swords. So when we get to the Queen of Swords, like I said, this is still a bit of a sharper energy. Like, I mean, this is somebody who's pretty direct in the way that they communicate. I would say that this, and of course, this is, Libra energy as well. But I would say with the Queen of Swords, it's almost like there is a sense of dealing with your life in a more specific way. Again, contracts could be relevant here as well, but Queen of Swords has a really powerful sort of perceptive nature. So I feel like you're being led to something that's going to be very lucrative for you over time. It's almost like it's still in a, and it could be dealing with things with writing, or because that's the written word, or communication, something verbal, maybe radio, anything like that, or something where you're communicating quite a bit. But either way, because it's kind of looking at the Ace of Pentacles, I just feel like this is a space where you're trying to get clear on a money path here as well. So you're doing, I don't know that I see research so much, but there's a lot around communication regarding the Ace of Pentacles, like regarding that money situation. There's something here where, because the Ace of Pentacles, again, is still sort of the start of something. It's not really advancing it. It's more of an opportunity that's coming in where you're delving into it. I would still say that you're kind of making some critical decisions around it, is what I would say, but it is going to show up in the material world, and maybe there is still something that's very in the material world that you are dealing with, because your approach is just, again, head over heart, rational perspective, that kind of thing. So you're making decisions based on your logic rather than emotions, but you're really still being very business oriented regarding this, I would say. That means that it could be dealing with some research, could be dealing with, evaluating the potential, what are the pros and cons of a situation. It's how do I advance it, but I'm still using my mind to kind of work through those details. So you're doing things with a clear mind is what I want to say there. The Ace of Pentacles, again, with that combination, does indicate a clear mindset regarding the money, like I said. But overall, I feel like it's a positive, it's a really positive energy. Let's just see what else is underneath here. And again, there could have been some battles around the money, or it could be toward the end of the month. But again, because we have the Ten of Wands and we also have the Five of Swords, it's like you're at a conclusion with, you're just not going to do that anymore. You're not going to do the battle. You're not going to do the that kind of exchange. So again, it looks like you've learned the lesson. So it, again, comes around. The situations will always come around, but it's up to you to find a new approach. And again, that throws people off guard when they don't see you reacting in the same way that you used to. So then they too have to take a different approach. Because people tend to, when they're stuck, tend to take on patterns, and they don't really realize their own pattern a lot of times until the situation or the environment or the reaction or the responses around them change, which then kind of reflects on them as to what needs to change. So again, Five of Swords, it's definitely around the communication area, seems to be really strong here. But the Ten of Wands, it's whatever the communication was, you're not dealing with it in the same way, because Ten of Wands is a finish up card. Again, could be residual, still a little further out. Um, Again, you're all on different timelines, so some of you have more support than others to get through a situation and resolve it, or maybe you have more resources, you do more research, you do more reading, whatever it is, more YouTube videos, whatever it is that kind of brings that information in. That is going to be the thing that expedites the conclusion a little faster once you're able to process and internalize it, and then you grow from it. But it's not just information. Information has to be enacted. It has to be put to the test. It has to be processed. But like I said, that Ten of Wands does sort of speak to there being a conclusive kind of energy around it, to the battles in the way that you have been communicating. So, to sort of cap that, I would say that whatever the burdens were in terms of communication, or those conflicts, or whatever you felt was betrayal or loss, you communicate. So you're not emotionally responding with in the same way with the Queen of Swords. Really in that space of, again, you're not taking on too much, because there's been a certain level of victory and you're prioritizing, I feel, your own well-being here, especially when I see the Nine of Pentacles out here. You are in that space, like I said, of understanding what's important here. So that all these combinations kind of highlight that, yes, you've been through some struggle and there's been responsibilities that have led to heavy levels of stress and exhaustion. But again, those battles are now shifting you to prioritize yourself. So you're kind of fighting in order to move forward, but also to kind of regain a sense of self. When we get to the Eight of Cups, and again, this is still Eight of Cups energy is, of course, the walking away card, trying to, find a way to trying to find a way to sort of deal with your life in an easier way, of course. But eights are all about reevaluating and sorting through things, with a level head, deciding, what to keep, what to get rid of. But it's moving in favor of the Nine of Pentacles. So it's moving in favor of you and your finances as the highlighted areas here. So you're really focusing on your money. And I do feel like, you're kind of making your own way in the world. So this is really a good time for you to, you're more self-reliant in this space. It definitely brings along that line of levels of independence. And I feel in March, I feel like your finances are, I would say, still looking up, because I mean, it is following through with the Two of Wands. So there's some kind of advancement. So whatever this opportunity that you felt was going on in February, by March, it is sort of moving it forward, more in a written way, contractual or otherwise, but it's still advancing forward. And then there's even more development further out because of the Two of Wands. But right now, you're sort of in a space of regaining your self-reliance and trusting yourself and your decisions. Um, and again, Nine of Pentacles is, there's some kind of a talent or ability here that is dealing with communication, dealing with logic, dealing with strong focus on those areas as well, strong focus on communication, money, that kind of thing. So everything I feel that is moving here probably toward the end of March more so is sort of focused on your money, focused on financial protection, focused on this new opportunity that you're trying to sort of build, because it seems like there's a progression of advancement and it definitely feels like it's still improving. Either way, it's the same opportunity showing up here that you had in February that is still advancing. And again, because I am looking at um, because I'm looking at the Eight of Cups. Sorry, guys, I was trying to get a feel of the Eight of Cups with the Nine of Pentacles here. Let's see if there's anything more. It, again, still sort of feels like there is also a sense that it's looking at, again, the things that block you and letting go of all of that because you're moving toward a new level of independence. A lot more money with this, a lot more material gain. It definitely is the card of luxury. It definitely is advancing in that way. It definitely is self-sufficiency. And it's almost like you're putting the opportunity that you had in February to, you're implementing something in the month of March with it because there's personal growth here. It's external factors that are influencing things, it's not something more internal. I feel like this is external things that are influencing you. There's bringing about this level of independence and joy and that kind of thing. But either way, you're advancing something that's happened here in February, and you're balancing it out pretty well. Again, we get to the card of the Two of Wands. So Two of Wands, of course, is kind of being at the door of success. Nine of Pentacles is being, what to do with that success. Like, how to independently operate with this kind of money here. You're advancing it forward. You're just about set to advance in this direction. Something is just about to go forward. Whether you see it or not, again, it's still a little further out, but again, there's a taste of that in the month of March. So there's some sense of, again, for some of you, this may already be in operation, but there's a sense of preparedness on this new path because this journey is allowing you to feel you've got a little bit more control in, and finances is a big part of that. So there is something that's coming through for sure in March that's allowing you to feel like you have some self-sufficiency. You are definitely fairly strong and confident in this period. And I feel like you are also in a space of taking that bold step forward, like this is again where there's stability in your connections and it's sort of a measure of success, something that's coming in to show you your something is coming forward to sort of show you you're moving in the right direction. Okay, so something is coming in. Again, contractual, but you're still working on it, but there's progress. It's almost like there's a feel of two things that are coming in the month of March, not just one. There's two things that are coming in the month of March that seem to be propelling you forward, allowing you to see that you have an opportunity, you have something that is measurable, it's concrete. The Magician card, of course, is the card of really using all of your talents, and it is a talent card, but it's also being something that you've wanted to manifest is actually advancing. So again, you are taking that idea, you are moving on it. There's an action, there's skills, there's resources behind it. It's you being confident. There's a lot of personal power in this month and assertiveness, a lot of decision making that's going on in the month of March as well. And I just feel like you're manifesting your own creation. Something is actually being highlighted here that there is a lot of clarity and the planning and the visualization is coming into reality now because you've got two things that are somehow manifesting in this month that seem to interlock together, that is kind of allowing you to explore this new opportunity and to move it forward. There is possibly a sense of travel, maybe not entirely, but there's still something that's kind of hidden here with the Hierophant. So again, You can trust your abilities right now because it's very confident, clear-headed decision making in the month of March. So you're really able to move ahead in a pretty wise way. Um, I feel like this is all practical sort of maneuvering. The high priestess, like I said, there's intuitive sort of renderings coming through. Again, may not be just, out in this month entirely, but there is sort of a feel around it that is spiritual wisdom or some kind of energy that is allowing you to be inspired. There's a period of enlightenment or something here that's coming in that helps you to kind of reveal or have an understanding of the mysteries of life, all of that. You are tapping into those inner resources and using things in a responsible way, a responsible, practical way, which seems to be the predominant energy of March. But again, I feel like your focus is quite clear on how you're moving ahead with this advancement of some sort. It's something that came in February. You are now putting into practice into March, and you're actually moving your goal ahead. And it's somehow, like I said, you're able to embrace a little bit more of, you're shaping more of the destiny here but there is still something that's hidden here. So, again, I feel like whatever this manifestation is, whatever this thing is that you've wanted to manifest, you are still having to tap into your intuition and sort of trust that process, that inner voice, and able to kind of figure that out. Um, and maybe with the Two of Pentacles, that kind of feels like you have a sense of it, but it's not quite yet clear. You're still trying to strike a balance on what you think is coming in, you're not quite sure of, but you're trying to balance and readjust for it, to accommodate for it. So there's some kind of, I don't feel major change just yet, but you are changing something in the month of March that is leading to a sense of feeling secure and independent and a lot more in control of your life. So something is saying that you're making some kind of progress, but you are readjusting for it. You're making some kind of a decision around it to advance it. Um, and it could also be one thing is sort of affecting the other with that as well. So whatever is hidden there is affecting the other thing. And this somehow could be the other thing with the King of Cups. So this could be a water energy. Somehow there's a water energy present again here. King of Cups is still around that energy of being, there's no melodrama here. This is a lot of controlled energy, wise, practical sort of dealings. And again, with this water energy, it's also in that same realm. So it's like one thing is affecting the other, and it feels like it's going to have a positive outcome where it's still advancing it. And yet it's almost like there was disappointment or depression or apathy or feeling like things weren't moving ahead, a missed opportunity around another person, possibly with that King of Cups energy. Like you're trying to figure out the best way. That could be the hidden element. But either way, you are adapting to the situation and the answer is coming through. You, with the Four of Cups, it was an emotional situation, and again, it's still in that case, it felt like whatever it was like somebody rejected an offer or something that you made to them. Um, but it is still moving forward. So, or somebody was ungrateful for something, or there was too much self pity going on. There was nothing, you weren't allowed to really enjoy the fruits of your labor or something like that. But again, it's now starting to move forward. And it's not just with the Two of Wands, it's also with the Three of Wands. Your energy is also coming through in multiple ways here. So it's positive outcomes, but again, it feels like you've had to kind of balance out some of the ups and downs here, but you've adjusted for it. Ah, that is what's hidden. What's hidden is another gift coming in for you. So the Ace of Cups, you have not only a concrete, tangible idea, but what's been hidden from you is there is another offer on the table here. There's another potential direction of some sort that is going to be presented to you that's going to make you quite happy. It may not be fully visible yet in this month for some of you, but overall, I would say you're pretty close to it, if not in this month. Somehow you know of it. It's like a new level of emotion. You're seeking, you know, um, a happier situation. And I feel like maybe you didn't anticipate that was going to happen, but that is happening. There's some kind of an, I don't want to say offer on the table, because this to me seems like it's a gift for you to balance things out which will affect the water sign. And again, Libra, you're very strongly coming through in this reading. So there's something here about a fortunate financial increase and feeling a lot more in charge of things, more direct, more, you know, mind over matter in the way that you're dealing with this month. But Ace of Cups is definitely a gift of some sort coming through. And I feel like you could even have a sense of, I mean, it could be a creative thing that is also coming through here, but again, that don't, it feels separate from the Ace of Cups. It feels like they're sort of separate things. It feels like there's two major things that are coming in. One is also, one of these things is going to strongly affect or impact the advancement of a connection with a water sign. So I think that is, I'll just kind of recap that and take another look here, but that is sort of the gist of it. Again, that Ace of Cups, it definitely feels like there's a gift, another opportunity of some sort that's coming through here for you, that you are not aware of, something you're not seeing, but it is definitely coming in. It is going to put you in a place of authority, but it's going to also emotionally put you in a very strong position. So there's profound changes in your finances as well as your emotional connections. And it feels like there's going to be a new renewal of an existing situation here as well. So a lot of problem solving going on in March because you have a very strong um, lead in with mind over matter, that kind of thing. So I feel like you're really practical. You're getting some respect in the month of March and you're making some sound decisions for sure. I feel like there is intellectual compatibility also with the water sign. There is also a sense of a clear strategy here. There is balance in your emotions and your logic. And there's definitely something, what you're not seeing here yet is that matters of the heart. There's a deep connection of some sort here too. So I'm just going to say this overall for March looks to be like a little bit of a turning point where things are really starting to come together. Um, like I said, the Ace of Cups is always my card of a gift coming in from the universe, but it definitely speaks to there being, that's what's hidden. Something that you're not going to see arriving here is that Ace of Cups. Anyway, that's what I have for you. Keep moving forward and never give up. Like I said, March looks amazing. February, there's still some challenges, but you're really, like I said, you're taking, in March, you are really starting to reap the rewards in March. So anyway, like I said, amazing sort of start. Ace of Cups again. There's a renewal of friendship, and emotionally, you're starting to release some of your, whatever the flaws were, whatever the things were blocking your heart connection. There's more emotional well-being. And somehow it affects whatever this comes in, whatever this is hidden, it affects a relationship or a connection, significant connection with a water sign. Anyway, that's what I have for you. Keep moving.